Before you can control your life, you must first control your emotions. Because most people are not destroyed by failure. They are destroyed by emotional reactions, anger, fear, overthinking, insecurity, stress. One emotional moment can ruin years of progress. That's why emotional control is power, not money, not status, not talent. Power is staying calm when everyone else loses control. This chapter will teach you how to stop reacting emotionally to everything around you, how to stay focused under pressure, how to think clearly during chaos, how to respond with discipline instead of emotion. Because if your emotions control your decisions, your life will always feel unstable. You have a choice. React like everyone else, or become mentally strong enough to stay calm when life gets difficult. Listen carefully. This lesson can change the way you think forever. Most people are not in control of their life. They are in control of their emotions. And that is dangerous, because emotions change constantly. One bad comment ruins their mood. One failure destroys their confidence. One rejection makes them quit. One difficult moment turns into emotional chaos. That is weakness, not because emotions are bad, but because uncontrolled emotions create uncontrolled behavior. That's the key. Your emotions are temporary, but the decisions you make during emotional moments can damage your entire future. Think about it. How many people destroy relationships because of anger? How many people ruin opportunities because of fear? How many people waste years because they cannot control insecurity, jealousy, or laziness? Emotional people react. Disciplined people respond. There is a difference. Reaction is instant. Response is controlled. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. And if you want peace, success, focus, and mental strength, you must learn emotional discipline. Not emotional suppression. Discipline. Because pretending emotions do not exist is not strength. Controlling them is. You have a choice. Every single day. You can let emotions control your actions, or you can train yourself to stay calm under pressure. That training changes everything. Most people think emotional control means never feeling anger, sadness, stress, or frustration. Wrong. Mentally strong people feel everything, but they do not become slaves to what they feel. That's power. Real power is staying calm when life becomes difficult. Anyone can feel confident when everything works perfectly. But can you stay disciplined when things go wrong? Can you stay respectful when you are angry? Can you stay patient when results are slow? Can you stay focused when emotions try to distract you? That is the real test. Because life will constantly test your emotional control. People will disrespect you. Situations will frustrate you. Stress will attack you. Delays will challenge you. And in those moments, your emotions will beg you to react, to yell, to quit, to complain, to give up. But strength begins the moment you pause before reacting. That's the key. The pause. That small moment where discipline takes control over emotion. That pause can save relationships. It can save opportunities. It can save your future. Most people never develop that skill because they live emotionally addicted lives. They react instantly to everything. Notifications, messages, opinions, arguments. Their mind is constantly overstimulated, and overstimulation destroys emotional control. You cannot develop discipline in a distracted mind. That is why silence matters. That is why solitude matters. That is why focus matters. Because emotional control is built in quiet moments. Long before difficult situations arrive, you train emotional discipline daily, not occasionally. Daily. Here is what that looks like. When you feel angry, stop speaking immediately. Not forever. Temporarily. Because angry words create permanent consequences. When you feel fear, move anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. When you feel lazy, follow structure instead of feelings. Because it's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Always remember that. Weak people wait to feel ready. Strong people act regardless of feelings. That is why disciplined people outperform emotional people over time. Consistency beats intensity. Every single time. Another truth most people avoid is this. Your emotions are heavily influenced by what you consume, what you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time around. Negative people create negative emotions. Drama creates emotional exhaustion. Chaos creates mental instability. That's why protecting your environment matters. You cannot constantly surround yourself with negativity and expect inner peace. It does not work like that. You have a choice. Either protect your mind, or let the world emotionally manipulate you every day. And modern life is designed to manipulate your emotions. Social media profits from your outrage. News profits from your fear. Toxic people profit from your reactions. Understand this clearly. If someone can control your emotions, they can control your behavior. That's dangerous. That is why emotional discipline is freedom. Because calm people think clearly. Calm people make better decisions. Calm people stay focused on long-term goals instead of temporary feelings. That is what separates successful people from emotional people. One lives by vision, the other lives by mood. Never let your mood become your master, because moods change constantly. Discipline must become stronger than emotion. That's the key. And discipline is built through small daily actions, simple things. Waking up on time, keeping promises to yourself, controlling your tone during stress, walking away from unnecessary arguments, learning to stay silent, especially silence. Silence is one of the strongest emotional skills you can develop. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Mature people understand this. Emotionally weak people need to win every argument. Emotionally strong people protect their peace. There is a difference. Stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. You don't need their permission to grow. You don't need their approval to improve your life. You do not need to explain your discipline to distracted people. Stay focused. Stay calm. Stay moving forward. That is emotional maturity. Another powerful truth. Most emotional suffering comes from unrealistic expectations. You expect everyone to understand you. You expect life to always be fair. You expect fast results. You expect constant support. And when reality disappoints you, emotions take over. But mentally disciplined people accept reality quickly. They adapt. They move forward. They stop wasting emotional energy fighting things they cannot control. That's wisdom. And wisdom creates peace. You must learn this skill. Not next year. Now. Because uncontrolled emotions destroy discipline slowly. You lose focus. You lose consistency. You lose confidence. And eventually you lose direction. That is why emotional control is not optional. It is necessary. Necessary for leadership. Necessary for success. Necessary for peace. You cannot build a strong life with a weak emotional foundation. It will collapse under pressure. So train yourself. Pause before reacting. Breathe before speaking. Think before responding. Simple habits. Massive results. Remember this forever. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is controlled strength. Anyone can explode emotionally. Very few people can remain disciplined under pressure. Become one of those people, because when you control your emotions, you stop being controlled by the world. You stop reacting emotionally to criticism. You stop panicking during hard times. You stop giving temporary emotions permanent power over your future. That is freedom. Real freedom. And once you master emotional control, your focus becomes sharper. Your discipline becomes stronger. And your mind becomes harder to break. You learned how to stay calm. Now it's time to master the next level of mental discipline.